Hi everyone! Welcome to a video where I talk about makeup and don't put any on. I know, so exciting. But I thought I would kind of jump on the train of people talking about makeup that they've been really liking in 2021. Except in my case, I'm not going to be sticking with makeup only released in 2021 because then my video would be about that long. So I thought it would be really fun for me to just talk about makeup products that I use the most often, the most consistently, regardless of when they were released. And these will be things that I have loved ever since like the end of 2019, which is when I really started wearing makeup more regularly. I am not going to talk about eyeshadow palettes in this video, and I'll probably put it in like the video title so you guys can see. I don't have favorite eyeshadow palettes because every single eyeshadow palette currently in my collection is in their collection for a reason. And if the reason is because I like to use it, then I use it. But I don't have eyeshadow palettes that I'm using more often than other eyeshadow palettes, if you know what I mean. Like all of my eyeshadow palettes that are in my collection to be used see use in equal amounts. Everything has seen a pretty even amount of use and I rotate through them as I feel fit. My eyeshadow palettes, everything I like. I don't have like a go-to daily eyeshadow palette. All of my eyeshadow palettes are daily eyeshadow palettes, and if I want to use one, I pick it out and use it. So I'm gonna kind of go in order of what I apply makeup, skipping over my eyeshadow. So we'll start with primer. I have used this several times, and this is actually my second bottle. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer. So a lot of pore-filling primers dry my skin out and are just not hydrating, so I have to layer them on top of a hydrating primer and then they sometimes don't get along. Hydrating primers don't generally minimize your pores. Like there's just not really a primer that can do both really well, but this one can actually. It doesn't hydrate as much as a hydrating primer and it doesn't fill in your pores as much as like something straight up like POREfessional, but it does both really well, better than any other primer I've tried. And if you have dry skin and you don't want your pores to really show and you need both and you just want to put one primer on your face, then this really is like my end all be all primer. This is the primer I use so much more often. I used to have like 7 or 8 primers and I was just trying to figure out one for me, and now I only have a few and this is one of them. I know this was like really polarizing and not a lot of people liked it. It went on sale at one point, but I'm really hoping she doesn't discontinue it because I love it so much, and if she does discontinue it, it actually is going to be a situation where I'm going to have to buy backups. Even for the price, I think it's worth it for me. Next is this primer, which you can't actually get anymore. It's not on her website anymore. This is her collaboration with JadeyWadey, and there's also a kind of spray that went along with this. This is so hydrating, and what I love the most about it is when you first squirt it out of the bottle, it looks like a standard cream, but when you start rubbing it between your fingers and rubbing it into your face, it becomes watery. It feels just absolutely amazing on the skin, and I love how it feels. Doesn't really do much for pore coverage, but it absolutely gives my skin that extra punch of hydration that it often really needs. This just comes in so much handy, and this also is pretty much the only primer I use during the winter because it's just so hydrating. And I have said before, I have such dry skin, so it's really a lifesaver. And then lastly, if you want something hydrating, kind of like the Dominique Cosmetics primer, but you want it to actually be something you can get, then look no further than the LANEIGE Glowy Makeup Serum. This gives much more glow because there's kind of like these pink pearls inside, and when you massage it onto your skin, it gives the most beautiful divine glass skin glow, as expected of a Korean brand like LANEIGE. And the only thing is the dropper packaging is like so that's why I tend to use the Dominique Cosmetics one slightly more often, but I still love it. Definitely worth the price and still available, so much more accessible. And I do feel like it does make my makeup last longer too, and it really does feel like skincare. So yeah, overall I really like it. This is the JACLYN Cosmetics Under Eye Primer, and I have like the world's driest under eyes. It doesn't matter the season, and putting this on not just my under eyes, but I put it on my eyelids too, makes my eyeshadow look like 10 times better now that I have it. It also just makes my under eye powder and my under eye concealer just lays on so much better on top of this. I cannot stop using this. This has just completely made my under eyes look so different with makeup on now. I feel like so many powders I used to not be able to use suddenly look great on me, and it's because I started using this. So I really love it. I just wish it wasn't so expensive for like the little teeny tube you get, but I know once I run out I'm gonna repurchase it. Okay, now we move on to foundations. So I decluttered a lot of my foundations, and the foundations I'm currently trying to look for, I just haven't really found one that I'm willing to spend money on to try. And you know, I haven't really been to the store to get samples, so I am planning on getting samples so that I can kind of do a foundation refresh. So my foundation collection honestly is not where I really where I want it to be. I'm not super satisfied with the foundations I have, but I do have a few that I really like and I do keep using. So the first one is and I'm glad I like this because oh my god, this was expensive. This is the SUQQU Extra Rich Glow Cream Foundation. So this is actually discontinued. It's just been replaced by like the Glow Cream Foundation or like the cream foundation or whatever. It's in black packaging. I've heard it's pretty similar, honestly, a little bit less overly glowy, so you know, if this might be too much for you, then the new cream foundation I'm sure is fine. I really like this. Yeah, I like this a lot, and I don't really need to use much. It has really great coverage, just really perfects my skin. For the price, I would totally expect it to look perfect, and thankfully it lives up to that expectation. Next, I have the one and only cushion foundation that ended up staying in my collection. I went through this whole cushion phase, but you know, because I don't really wear makeup every single day of the week, and I do have different foundations so that I can get the finish I want, cushion foundations dried out before I could finish using them. Not so for this one. I actually can finish this one up. It looks amazing on my skin. It's like the SUQQU foundation, but in a cushion form, so like super convenient. This is my traveling cushion, and yeah, I really like it. My all-time, all-purpose, can use for any situation. If I don't know what I want, I use this. This is the Pat McGrath foundation. I know. Expensive, but this is so nice. It advertises sheer coverage, and I'm wearing it today, and you can see it doesn't quite cover up this very painful zit on my nose, but overall my skin still looks really super perfected. I think it looks really nice. It makes my skin just look so smooth and perfect. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy. You can powder it down to matte, or you can put it on top of something super hydrating or apply a lot of setting spray and make it look dewy. It really can just do whatever you want. It feels to me like the tofu of foundations. It can be whatever you want it to be, and then it's delicious regardless, or on its own, because I don't know about you, but I eat tofu without anything and I still like it. Good foundation. Now, as for concealers, I guess I'm not really super like typical. I've never found a liquid concealer that can cover my dark circles. I know my dark circles aren't super bad, but for some reason they're just really impossible to cover. They just stubbornly want to show through everything. So I've never found a liquid concealer that actually covers them. I put on a liquid concealer and then I look down and suddenly, oh man, like I can see everything. It does not matter what it is. However, the first one is the Pat McGrath concealer. So, you know, I basically own like her entire complexion line. This I use as a like matte full coverage foundation. Really good for that. And it does actually do a pretty decent job of covering my dark circles, better than any other concealer I've tried. So I do like to keep it around for that purpose. But the biggest thing is that I don't really have a matte full coverage foundation that I at all right now, and I'm really trying to find one so that if I ever do really intense eye looks, I can keep my face pretty flat and like kind of just in the background. So this for now actually works really well, and I actually can even mix this with my foundations to make it more matte and more full coverage, and then I kind of have like a custom foundation thing going on. So yeah, this is really good. And then as for the actual concealer that actually conceals, not gonna be a surprise to literally anybody on this planet, but the JX Professional Triple Concealer. And oh my god, if I ever pan this and need a new one, I don't know how I'm gonna find a new one, because I like the place that I used to get it from, it says sold out, and they've like never restocked since, so I don't actually know how to get this anymore. But I love this, and the stupidest part is that I literally only use the top shade right here. Here's what it looks like. I only use the top shade. These bottom two shades are too dark for me to use. Sometimes during the summer I mix these two, but this darker shade goes completely unused. This is the only one I use, and I wish they had a concealer color of like only the top so that I could like actually get use out of it. This is so good. Like, I need one this size, but only this top one, you know what I mean? And like, this is like the only concealer I use these days. I've not really found one that I like. I do want to try the Shiseido Synchro Skin stick concealer. Again, I need the shade match. I would really like to find a dupe or something as good as this in the American market that you guys can actually find, and that I could find if I ever needed to replace this and couldn't find this again. So that's like my most important mission of 2021, is going to be trying to find something like that so that I can like, you know, not be sad if I ever use this up. But I cannot stop talking about how good this is. I love this so much. Like, if I can figure out where it's in stock at the time of this video, I will link it so you guys can get it. And I'm not talking about brushes in this video, but I did have to say the Clinique concealer brush. I had to wash this, and I put off washing it for like a week, and during that week my makeup and my under eyes looked just garbage. This brush is the best concealer brush. Alright, so next, because it's the summer, after I put on my base, I do use setting spray so that I can then go in with like the world's most shortest miniature bake ever. And so my current favorite, and if you guys hear anything in the background, it's like just suddenly started thunderstorming like right now, but the D'Alba setting spray. I'm like so sad about I'm gonna have to repurchase this with my own money because this is so freaking expensive, especially since I have to get it from Korea. It's gonna be like $35 or $40 for me to get another one of these, but this is so good. The mist makes the mister from Fix Plus or Too Faced Hangover feel so aggressive. Like I cannot stand the misters on those because I feel like I'm just spraying like a jet stream at my face, whereas this is a true mist and it truly evenly covers my face and works and sets down, and like it just, this is so good and it makes my makeup look amazing. It hydrates my skin. I don't really know anything about wear time since I'm not outdoors much, especially since like, you know, staying inside, but it's really good. I love using this. So I'm definitely going to be sad to have to buy another one, but I will buy it because it's worth the money. And then for just want to quickly mention, I do still really like the Too Faced Hangover. It does everything that I need it to do, sets my makeup, hydrates my skin, works really great, even as like a primer before my primer. Love this. It's just that compared to the D'Alba one, the mister suddenly feels so aggressive now, so I don't use it as often, but I do really like it, and it does go on sale quite often. I bought it half off. Half off definitely is a really great deal, so yeah, I like that too. For my hydration fix during the summer, the Dominique Cosmetics JadeyWadey spray, which I had mentioned earlier in this video. This is so good. The mister on this is just like the D'Alba one, just so heavenly. Like just like a gentle fog of dewdrops kissing your face. It feels so nice. I don't know if this does anything to actually set your makeup since it says literally like hydrating mist. It feels really good. So I use it when my skin's feeling really dry, especially before makeup application, and I do really like this for that purpose. And then lastly, if you need hairspray for your face, this is what I use when I travel, especially to places like southern China, or I went to Hawaii 2 years ago. Use this basically every day. The all-nighter spray from Urban Decay. I mean, what else can I say? You guys have probably heard of this. This will set your makeup. I definitely don't use it during the winter, so the reason I have a mini is because I use this pretty much exclusively when I'm traveling to somewhere really hot and humid. So I haven't used it in a while, obviously, but whenever I do travel, particularly back to southern China, this is getting used pretty much every day. So now we're gonna move on to powder, and this is when I would be applying powder. And then after I do powder, I do setting spray again. That's like my summer makeup routine to make my makeup last longer. So we'll start with loose powder first, what I have been using a lot. The first one is going to be the Shiseido Future Solutions powder. This is one of the first powders I ever got. I got this back in like 2018 or something. Have been using it pretty consistently. Love it. It is not super drying, but it definitely sets my makeup really well, and it's really great at giving you that super trendy marshmallow skin look, which is definitely kind of the thing in Asia, to have skin that is soft, that is matte, but still has a soft and bouncy look to it, like a marshmallow. This will get that for you. Really great, and it's also just really pretty, so if you wanted to keep it on your vanity as a vanity piece, you could. Definitely has that feel to it. Next, the NIKKIA Joy Loose Setting Powder. This is like sorcery. I don't understand, because she said she made it for oily textured skin, but if you have dry skin, this still works. It still does everything she says it does for oily textured skin. It makes your pores disappear, it makes your texture disappear, it's just all gone. I don't know how she did it. It's so amazing. The only thing is the vanilla fragrance on it can be pretty strong, and I definitely don't think you should apply it with a brush. It definitely is a powder meant to be applied with a sponge, which is how she uses it and how she instructs you guys to use it. Like if you look on her website or if you watch her videos, that is how she always uses it, so no surprise that that's the best way to use it. So yeah, I don't understand what's in this powder. It's so good, and it definitely is a super matte powder, so if I ever want my skin to look matte, this is the powder that I definitely am gonna go for. And then next, these two loose powders from JACLYN Cosmetics. This is the old packaging. The new packaging is square to match with the other packaging. This is the Mood Light Luminous powder. Ever since this came out and I got it, I just cannot believe how good this is. This is my holy grail winter powder. During the winter, if I use setting powder that's loose, it's gonna be this. It makes my skin look beautiful. It just makes my skin look so beautifully radiant. It doesn't dry my skin out at all, and during the winter, it does indeed set my makeup. I don't understand how it does such a good job. This is such a beautiful powder. If anybody wanted to try just one thing from JACLYN Cosmetics, I would say try this powder. This is the bee's knees. I don't have any other powder like this. I've never heard of any other powder like this. I have tried the Hourglass one, not like this at all. This is superior. I love this. And then her, this is the Brightening Lilac Under Eye Powder. This is meant for the under eyes, but I use it across also the entirety of my T-zone because the lilac really helps to brighten the center of my face and neutralize any yellow sallowness that I might have. This looks absolutely beautiful. The only thing is I do have to use this with the under eye primer, so if I forget to use her under eye prep thing, then this is going to be a little bit drying, but otherwise this is such a smooth matte powder for under my eyes, and the lilac factor definitely means it's going to also really brighten up my skin in a way that other setting powders I have do not. These both are super solid contenders for products that I recommend. Alright, moving on to pressed powders. So first off, kind of the pressed version of the Shiseido one. This is the Kogen Do Brightening Moisture Powder. This is beautiful. I love this. It sets your makeup and it makes your skin look the exact same. Now I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually not, because let's say that you have a foundation and concealer that gives you the perfect complexion look, like it just made your skin look so perfect, but now you need to set it and your setting powder is gonna ruin all that hard work and change how your skin looks. We can't have that, can we? Use this. This will not change a single thing, but it will set your makeup. And that's what it does. It does such a great job doing that. So if your skin feels perfectly moisturized, your skin will still feel perfectly moisturized. If your skin is matte, your skin will still look really matte. Like, this will preserve what's underneath but set it. And most powders are gonna change how your skin looks a little bit, and most of the time people like it, but sometimes you don't want that to happen, so that's what this is for. Next, if you want an affordable powder that makes your pores literally just disappear, where did they go? I don't know. Try the EGLIPS Blur Powder Pact. This is sorcery in a bottle. You use the puff it comes with, you press it on your face, your pores are gone. And that's that. That's it. You're done. The pores are gone. Where'd they go? I don't know. I just cannot use this under my eyes. Dries the heck out of my eyes. But right here, I use it right here and on the tips of my nose. Makes my skin just look so beautiful and perfect, and it's not even that expensive. On the more expensive side of things, the CHANTECAILLE Perfect Blur Finishing Powder is one of my most favorite pressed powders ever, and it even has like such a beautiful hummingbird on it. This is limited edition packaging, but it is currently available, I believe, in a different floral packaging, but the inside is the same, and that's what matters. If you want to spend a ton of money on a powder and you want a beautiful powder that is luxurious and gives you a luxury experience, but also makes your skin just look beautiful, then you really cannot go wrong with this. This is a mattifying pressed powder, but it's like baked. It feels baked almost, so you have to go in with a denser brush, but it mattifies your skin, and yet your skin doesn't feel dry. It's the best mattifying powder for dry skin because it mattifies but doesn't actually make your skin look dry. It definitely really blurs out all that texture, and it just looks really, really nice. If I'm comparing it to like the EGLIPS powder or something like that, the effect is pretty similar, but this somehow just looks on another level. Like with the EGLIPS powder, you definitely have that marshmallow look, but when you use the CHANTECAILLE one, your skin is matte and perfected and poreless, but it doesn't actually look like you have powder on your face. Like, it really is just like your skin suddenly is perfect now and nobody's gonna know how you did it because they can't tell you have powder on your face. That's what it does. I definitely don't regret buying it. I love that I have it, and I especially love that I got to have it in the hummingbird packaging. Lastly, this is super new to my collection, so I've only used it a few times, but oh my god, what sorcery is this? Teresa is Dead talked me into buying this, and then it went half off, so I bit the bullet. This is the Becca Light Shifter Finishing Veil Powder. I have it in the shade Scattering, so the lightest shade. What even is this? This is sorcery. It like made all of the fine lines on my under eyes disappear, and my under eyes didn't even look or feel dry. Like, I don't understand. And it mattified my skin, but it didn't create any dry patches. I didn't see any dry patches. This is so, so good. I don't know if it's still half off, but if it is, this really is such a steal. You guys should try this. It's similar to the CHANTECAILLE in that it's much more like densely packed, almost feels like a baked or a gelée or whatever. And I feel like that must just be why it agrees with me so well, because the CHANTECAILLE one also is so good. And then this one kind of, it only is natural that I would like it too. I would say if you have the CHANTECAILLE powder, do you really need this one? The finish is going to be pretty similar. It's much cheaper, and even at full price it's still much cheaper, so that's definitely kind of the more affordable buy. But it's such a shame that Becca's leaving because this is so good. Like, this is really good. I've not had this for very long, and like, I really like it. Okay, so that wraps up kind of the complexion portion, which I know is so long. This video is so long. So we're gonna move on to bronzer and contour. Now, I have the hardest time finding bronzers and contours that kind of suit my undertones. I'm very olive, so that can mean that a lot of bronzers just don't really work on me. and same with contour. So the few that I do have, I do really like. Next we have the Westman Atelier Stick and Biscuit. This is a beautiful stick formula. It doesn't break up my foundation or remove my foundation, blends out so easily with either a finger or a sponge. As you can see, the shade is pretty neutral leaning, so it works really well for me. It does have a hint of warmth on my skin, but it's not too much, and it's the perfect kind of in between for bronzing and contour. So if I use it, I can not only warm up my face, I can also contour my face a little bit too, which is really nice. So I definitely really enjoy using this. The only thing is sometimes I like go straight into powder and then I'm like, oh shoot, I can't use this because it doesn't work on top of powder. But as long as I remember to use it before I powder, I love that I have this in my collection now, and this is super solid. And then next, I have the Huda Beauty Tantour. I love this. The only thing is that it starts off really super pigmented, but you can blend it out really well, so don't be afraid. It is definitely like, you can see how it could scare you a little bit, but the undertone of this is super flattering if you have olive undertones, I think, and I can blend this out really easily with a sponge brush or finger, and it just works really well. It has more of a matte finish, but I think it looks really good, so I definitely really enjoy using this. This is particular something that I tend to gravitate towards in the winter because it's a little bit cooler, so I feel like it kind of just suits the winter mood for what I tend to wear in the winter. So this is kind of like a winter for me. But yeah, aside from that really is all the bronzers I can really talk about. I am definitely in the market for looking for more bronzers. It's so I haven't been able to swatch, so it's really hard for me to think about a bronzer I can use if I can't even swatch it. So that's all I could share there. Definitely enough to get by, obviously, but there is, I feel like I can feel the holes in my collection. I'll have to see. I just haven't found any new ones that catch my eye, especially right now. I'm not really buying any new makeup. But yeah, that's all the bronzers I had to share. We can move on to blush, which I have a lot of blush to share. So as you know, I have such the worst love-hate relationship with cream, liquid, and stick blushes ever because they seem to always want to take off my foundation. I do have some that do not. The Glossier Cloud Paints. Just use these. These are perfect. There is nothing wrong with them. They're so good. There's definitely way more shades now. I have the original kind of 6. I think they have like 2 or 3 more these days, and I am looking to pick them up eventually. But these are the kind of the original 6. I have all 6 that I've acquired over the years. And honestly, if you want liquid blush, go simple. Don't try and find anything new or fancy. Just try these. You're gonna love these. These are so good. They're also not overly dewy. Like I have discovered I don't really like those serum overly hydrating dewy blushes when it seems like every liquid blush that comes out is trying to be dewy. These are a lot more natural looking, so love these. And then as far as another liquid blush goes, I don't know if you can get these anymore, but the 3CE Velvet liquid blushes, these are really good. These are super matte, but they definitely are not going to take your foundation off, and they just work really well. I really love the effect of these, how matte they are. It looks definitely is great for giving that watercolor effect, so this is really nice. And then as far as like my go-to, can't go wrong, perfect blush formula, it would have to go to the Clinique Cheek Pops. I love these so much that I'm working on getting basically every single shade. These are just so great. They're baked gelée, so it's really hard to overdo. They blend out so well, and they are not matte, they are not glowy, they just are natural and have just such a natural sheen to them because of the fact that they are that baked formula. These are just so good. If you could only have if you only need like one staple everyday blush and you just need it to be the best blush ever, just get a Clinique Cheek Pop. You're not gonna regret it. And then next for powder blushes, because again, like I said, I have such a love-hate relationship with cream blushes. My fantasy me wants to have cream blushes, but in real life they never end up working for me, so I have a ton sitting on like my wish list and then I never end up buying them. But powder blushes I do have a lot of. So this is the Romand Better Than Cheek. These are so good. They give the color looks like it's blooming on your cheeks. Now these are really matte. The way that they were advertised by the YouTuber who founded Romand, they also blur. These serve both to add the pigment to your cheeks, and they also blur your cheeks. It's crazy, it's beautiful. These blend out so well. There's a lot of different colors at this point. These are really great and I love them. I have to give it to these Sim single blushers for being the best cheap as hell blushes that you guys could get. It feels like there's like 200 shades of these at this point. Any shade of blush, contour, whatever that you want, it exists in this, which speaking of, I need to get like a bronzer shade in these. These are the best. I swear, you can get them for as low as $2.50 sometimes. Like, come on, these are so good. Just go get them. The M Cosmetics powder blushes. I have Magic Hour, and then I have Faded Clementine before she changed the packaging to orange. I'm so salty. I want the orange packaging, but I don't need to buy two. So I'm like thinking, I'm like literally considering selling this so that I can buy the orange packaging so that I can have it match with this and then match with Venetian Rose and whatever. These are so good. These are like beautiful. Like, it's a baked dome formula. I guess it kind of could remind people of what like the Milani baked one, but like these are so pretty, and I want the Venetian Rose one so bad, and like these are really great. I love these. M Cosmetics can do no wrong except for their serum blushes. I hated those. Next, the Patrick Ta Monochrome Moment Blush Collection. This is such a beautiful no blush shade. I have it in She's Seductive. Look at this. This is just the perfect make my cheeks look a bit better without making it look like I have blush on kind of a thing. And then these like totally surprised me because nobody talks about this brand. Like, what? Nobody's talking about this? But the Moira Beauty, the gradient blushes, these are beautiful, and like they're not only beautiful to look at, they are beautiful to use. I can actually use each shade in the gradient because I use a pretty small blush brush. I can actually use each shade in the gradient and create such a beautiful effect on my cheeks. I could mix it and create a beautiful custom shade. I mean, like, these are amazing. Like, and they're not even that expensive, and Moira has sales all the time. So like, what are you doing? Go run and get them. Stop watching this video so you can go buy them right now. And I also have two more shades that are much more kind of neutral and subdued. These are just so pretty, and it's like I have a blush palette in a single. I mean, what the heck? The next time I go traveling, these are coming with me because I can have all the colors I need in a compact pan. I love these, and the formula is beautiful. I mean, I wish more people talked about these blushes so more people could know how great they are, so Moira can make more shades. Basically is how I feel. And then next, to kind of finish off like the face stuff, I do want to go over highlighters, and then I'll go over face palettes. So for highlighters, I first want to start off with saying that as a general formula, but not as a general color, the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors, Becca is closing very, very soon. It's like it's creeping right up on us. So if you don't have any of her Shimmering Skin Perfectors and you want to try them, definitely please don't wait. Get them before they go away forever. These are such a beautiful formula. I have, during 21 Days of Beauty and then with a 30% off code, I kind of more or less filled out the collection of shades that I was missing that would suit my skin tone. So at this point I have so many shades from them, and I didn't want to regret not being able to get certain shades. I already really regret not being able to get the Year of the Pig one. That definitely a major regret for me. These are just beautiful, solid, rock solid highlighters, and some of the shades that they have, Vanilla Quartz, they just are such beautiful, unique shades I don't really have anywhere else. I love these. I do intend to pick up High Angel, the newest one, once I kind of can see the vet bill, how that's all gonna work out. I do hope to pick it up if it's still in stock after all of that's been said and done, because I just would hate to not have it. I mean, these are such beautiful formulas. In particular, what surprised me is how much I love Golden Mint. It looks like I put a sunset on my cheek. Somehow the green shift doesn't look bad. It actually looks so flattering. I feel like the colors of these are just so beautiful, so perfect. I have on a mixture of two highlighters, and the base highlight that I have on, like kind of I put one highlighter and then I put another highlighter. The base one is Own Your Light. It's just so pretty. Like, this is the perfect blush topper. So anyways, yeah, those are so good. I'm like so sad that Becca's closing. And then on top of Own Your Light, I put on my favorite. If I don't know what highlighter to use, I use this. This is the Clio Prism Air Highlighter in Gold Sheer. This is really just it, you guys. You don't know what to wear with your makeup look, but you want highlighter. But you can't decide what shade to wear, but you just don't know what to do. Wear Gold Sheer. Fixes all your problems. Perfect. Suddenly your makeup look is complete. Everything matches. Everything's coordinated. Problem solved for when you're lazy. And I love this so much. This also, if I have any other highlighter on my face that might be like a weirder color or something, especially to top my blush, I will use this on my nose bridge and my nose tip because it just looks so pretty on those areas. Like, it just is the perfect highlighter for me, and you can build it up too. It's not like most other Korean highlighters that are super like basically like chalk. This actually can build up so well, or it can be sheared out because it's more of a baked formula. You don't have to put on too much on your brush, and you can even use your finger to apply it like a cream highlighter. It looks really great that way too. Really great highlighter. Kind of just like, this should come as a surprise to literally absolutely no one. A good old Super Shock cheek highlighter. I have it in the shade Flexitarian, of course. This is just perfect. It's kind of like Gold Sheer, but if you don't know what highlighter to wear, but you know you want your highlighter to be poppin', like you want the airplane flying above your head to see your highlighter, this Super Shock highlighter formula. Pick your shade, it's gonna look good on you. I also have one of their more flat packaging ones, which I swear I'm so mad, and I'm still mad about this, that all of their shades of this just disappeared off their website and I couldn't collect them all. I am still mad about it. I'm like actually still really mad about it. This is the only one I have and I'm like so upset. Like, biggest regret of my life right now is not having all of these. It's the same thing, it just, you know, just a bigger pan. But like, these are just so nice. Like, I wish I had them all. I'm sad. These are really great. The Super Shock highlighter formula is definitely just super rock solid. Next, moving on to other highlighters, and these should come as no surprise because you have seen me use these multiple times. The Dior Backstage in Rose Gold and the JACLYN in The Flash. Now, I believe this is still available some places. This was a limited edition shade, but some places you can still find this. This is not available basically anywhere unless you want to buy it used. You're not going to find this, but pretty much all the shades in here are available in singles, and from what I've been seeing, the formula hasn't really changed, still pretty solid, which is great if you just wanted 1 or 2 shades. Now you can get that, you don't have to get like the whole palette. But yeah, let me first go over this one really quick. Really pretty. Again, lazy girl highlighter. I don't know what to use. I grabbed this palette. My highlighter looks great. Ta-da! This is also one of my favorite places to go to for an inner corner highlight if an eyeshadow palette I'm using doesn't have an inner corner highlight that I want, because Gleam and Sparks are definitely kind of more normal highlighter shades, so to speak, but Iced and Mesmerized are beautiful as inner corner highlights and as highlighters. They're just a bit more situational. I definitely use Gleam and Sparks like way more often, but love this. And then the Dior Rose Gold. The formula just makes your cheeks look so beautiful. This is a beautiful highlighter formula. These shades are truly something else. This gold shade here is a gold shade that works for really light skin tones. This is a beautiful blush topper, and then these 2 shades, again, just really great highlighters. So I definitely love this. I've been wanting to try the Dior highlighter quads for quite some time, but none of their colorways ever could really work for me. I felt like everything was going to be too dark, so when they released this, I was really excited. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the face palettes. I really like blush, so face palettes, especially blush palettes, are going to suck me right in. So let's just go over quickly what I really like. This is definitely super hard to get your hands on just because it keeps on going in and out of stock, but when I need more kind of abnormal blush colors, the Arthurine Blush Palette Volume 1 is so beautiful, especially this shade here, this one here, this one here, this one here, just all such unique tones. Love this blush palette. The blush is really pigmented though, so you definitely have to be careful. And given that it's volume 1, I am super excited if they ever do volume 2. You know I'm gonna be like the first in line to get it if I can. And the shades are also available in singles, so if you don't want the whole palette but you do want some of the singles, you definitely can just do that. The infamous Cheek Leaders in Bronze Squad. This is not my favorite face palette. If I had a favorites video, this would not be in it. However, in terms of makeup I use a lot, this is in it literally just because of Cookie. Okay, I bought this back when Cookie was not a single, okay? So this was when Cookie was not a single, and the trios all sold out instantly because Jaclyn Hill just had to have the gall to mention it like once, and then it sold out. So everybody went out and bought it, and then it just disappeared. So I then had to find this. It was like 30% off or something at Macy's, so I went and bought it real quick, literally just for Cookie. So now I have Cookie in this because I love Cookie so much. So good. It's available in a single now, so don't waste your money like I did. I basically never use Hula Caramel. I don't even like know how to get this pigment off the pan onto a brush. I bought this palette for Cookie, so if you guys ever want Cookie the single, definitely don't like hesitate. It'll be worth it. You'll really enjoy it. And now we're gonna go on to eyebrows. Now my eyebrow products really just haven't changed. I still use the same stuff. So we're gonna talk about the thing that I've been using pretty much the most consistently, the Urban Decay Brow Blades. I have 2 shades, Cool Cookie and Blackout. You know that I really love to use the ink stain on Blackout for my brows, and then I like to use the Cool Cookie pencil side for my eyebrows. I find the Cool Cookie ink stain side, it's beginning to dry out, and as it dries out, it's really not showing up anymore. Whereas the Blackout, even if it dries out, it's still dark enough that it shows up. So kind of annoying that I have to have both shades, but I still do use the Blackout pencil side. At this point in time, the Blackout pencil side is actually completely panned. I only keep it because the ink stain side actually is still going. It's been months. I've had this for like 8 months now, and it's still going strong. So that really speaks to the longevity of the pen tip. Really great, worth for the money for sure. I basically only use these days, like basically. This is definitely the best brow cream I've ever tried. So if you have stubborn brows, especially if you like stubborn Asian brows with stubborn Asian lashes, use this on your eyebrows and see the difference. It's really, really good. And this is, I know this is gonna sound so strange to you guys, but the Natasha Denona Glam palette, this shade in the middle called Lash Line is my holy grail powder brow color. I wish she made this in a single so that I could buy 10 of it and have brow powder. It looks amazing. It's so stupid, but just wanted to throw that out there. So I do use this palette a lot because once I've gotten my eyebrows done with it, I'm just like, well, it's already out. I'll use it on the rest of my eyes. This is a great kind of all-in-one palette for me. Something that if I travel, this is gonna come with me. For eyeliner, the Clio So Sharp So Simple waterproof pencil liners. These are the best, most affordable liners I've ever tried as far as pencil goes. Stay put in the waterline and also super creamy, no tugging on the upper lash line. Really great. And then for mascara, Peri Peri Ink Black Cara in volume. I get it in the one that gives volume. This is so good. This gives me, because I don't want my lashes to have the no mascara look. That's not for me. It's really not for me. And a lot of Korean mascaras, which happen to hold the curls the best, also tend to give such subtle effects. And the American waterproof mascaras are just not heavy duty enough for my lashes, you guys. So this, I was so glad to finally find something that gives me the American volume, but with the Korean lash power of holding the curl. It does both so well. In my previous videos with 3 looks 1 palette, like the one for where I was wearing the Zendo, I used this in all 3 looks. Makes my lashes look beautiful, just so thick and voluminous and luscious and fluffy and also lengthened. I mean, this does everything. And then if I use the Lancome Bifacial Makeup Remover or the Clinique Take the Day Off, it honestly comes off really easily. This is my current holy grail mascara. I don't have any liquid liners to share because I still haven't found one that I like. And the ones that I do like are like discontinued a long time ago, so. But we are going to move on to lips. So first off, for the lip liner, M Cosmetics lip liner in Fawn. I use this literally in every single video. I'm gonna pan this and then I'm gonna buy another one. Story over the ultimate overline lip liner. If you have lips that are in a similar skin tone to mine, buy it. Enough said. Done. Okay, good. Any lip product from Romand. I have so many of their shades at this point, it's probably gotten excessive. I'm never gonna pan any of these. These are gonna go bad before I can finish them. I don't care. I love having all these colors. I love having the selection. They make me so happy. These are so good. Do you want a matte lip that's not drying? Zero Velvet. Do you want it to be a little bit more sheer? See-through matte. There you go. Do you want a tinted gloss that looks like you just put glass on your lips and your lips look like glass skin, but it's your lips? Glasting Water Tint. It's not even sticky. Do you just want a really pigmented gloss that just makes your lips look really juicy and hydrated and youthful? Juicy Lasting Tint has got your back. There you go. Go get these, and depending on where you get them from, they're like $8 to $10 each. Next, I don't use these as often as I use Romand because they are so pigmented. It can actually be a little difficult to control, but if you want the ultimate pigmented matte mousse blur tint that just blurs the heck out of your lips, perfect Korean matte blur look, Peri Peri Ink Matte Blur Tints. Not drying at all. Again, these are really pigmented, so you guys be careful. These are really great, and I find that Peri Peri, Romand, Clio, wherever you're getting from whenever it comes to lip colors, formulas can kind of start to converge, and you definitely will see the trends as all the brands jump on the same bandwagon, but each brand has a very distinctive color preference, very distinctive kind of preferred color palette. It gets to the point where you can look at a color and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a Peri Peri color. Each brand kind of has its own color identity, and one thing about Peri Peri is that their colors tend to be very bright and youthful. Some people almost consider them a bit childish. So if you're into that kind of thing, the Peri Peri colors that are available are definitely going to be really appealing to you. They have a lot of those brighter colors that other brands might think are like, they're like too mature for that, I guess. So yeah, definitely these are really still really great. Speaking of Peri Peri, I absolutely love the ink serums. I have the ink tint serum, which comes in this really cute glossy bottle, and then I have the ink stick serum, which is like the stick version, which comes in this beautiful clear packaging. These especially come in very bright, beautiful colors. So if you're looking for that bright popsicle look, these are definitely going to give it to you. Really, really nice formulas. Love these so much. And then my most recent hyped up thing is the Unleashia non-sticky gloss tints. These are not sticky. They're actually not sticky. They have such beautiful colors. I mean, these colors, I don't have colors like this in my collection. Like, very different color aesthetic from Romand or anything else. Very beautiful. Unleashia definitely is a brand I want to explore more. I feel like their color sense is so pretty. And also these have hints of sparkle in them, but you can't feel, it's not gritty at all. Very smooth, very hydrating, very beautiful. And I really want to get more of the colors. I just absolutely love these. And then I also do want to quickly touch on the M Cosmetics lip colors. I have Infinite Lip Clouds and I also have the True Glosses. These are beautiful. The True Glosses are very, very pigmented, so if you don't want a pigmented gloss, not for you. The Infinite Lip Clouds are kind of like M's American answer to the Korean lip trend, so these are like moussey, matte, whatever, really pretty, just beautiful, and this red shade is just so pretty. And then the True Glosses are just really great, especially on a no makeup day. They're really pretty to just throw on, and they have lots of colors at this point, so they're a bit expensive. Like, I'm so used to paying Roman prices. I only buy these when they, like, sometimes they'll do like buy one get one free kind of a thing. That's when I will do like my biggest stock ups. I cannot recommend enough Faded Clementine. This is just such a unique orange. It's not too orange, but it's also not too brown. You definitely can tell, not really a lipstick person. I'm definitely a liquid lip person, which I know is kind of non-standard these days, but I find liquid lips to be a lot easier for me to apply. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but my lips basically point straight into the ground. Liquid lips definitely give me more control with the applicator so that I'm not applying it and getting really messy. The way my lips are shaped, lipsticks can easily apply too much, and then it just kind of makes my outer lips look like rectangular. It's not a good look, trust me. I'll make a video on it someday, but yeah, liquid lips give me far more control, so I don't actually use lipsticks that much. So I do have lipsticks, but honestly I like never use them. Like, so I've gotten rid of quite a few of them as time has gone on. But I also want to quickly go over the M Cosmetics lip cushions. Now these are definitely something special. Great. I wear these when I don't have makeup on, and they add the perfect touch to the lips. These are so, so good. And similarly, the Kaja Gloss Stick also gives a similar finish, and the color I have is something that M doesn't have, so that's kind of why I have it. Yeah, these are just like gloss. These are like glosses in a stick, really. It's just such a great formula to have. I'm surprised more brands don't do these, honestly. It's a much thicker, heavier version of the ink stick serum is kind of how I would compare the two. And then lastly, my favorite gloss product definitely would have to be the Dior Lip Glow Oils, but I have these two are my favorites. This one is Cherry, and you can see the difference. You can already see the difference looking at the tube, how this one is much more clear compared to this one, because this one has way more pigment than this one does. So these are just the perfect lip toppers. I also can wear this completely on its own if I'm not wearing any other makeup, but I want my lips to look better. So like before we all started wearing masks, I would wear this. Anytime I went out, I would just throw this on. Perfect for that. And then this just gives the perfect hint of cherry to the lips. I mean, it's just perfect. I really, really like this. I have a couple other shades of this as well, and I think they honestly are just well worth the money. Like I do buy, you guys know I have a lot of high-end luxury makeup, but high-end luxury glosses are definitely one thing where I'm like, no. But the Dior Lip Glow Oils are actually, to me, worth every penny. Oh, I forgot to mention, this has been discontinued, but I love this so much. Rest in peace, Benebom. I'm sad that they discontinued it because I wanted to get the other colors, and then I saw that they were gone, so rip. I'm sad. Why do brands discontinue all the good stuff? I hope you guys enjoyed this and you have kind of similar preferences or similar skin type or whatever to me. I hope these helped you out a little bit, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.